You have been adding more. More scales, more theory. The altered scales, the diminished scale, Mixolydian, flat 9, flat 13, more of everything, because that is what everyone said you needed. But think about it. Who do you really sound like? And those options, more collections really give you the way to sound like you somebody? Like you want to sound like Wes Montgomery, and knowing all those scales, do you really sound like Wes? Here is why. Wes was not adding more. He was following one path already built into the fretboard that does more than every scale you have been collecting. That is what you just heard. The Wes is more. Hey, my name is Junewon Choi. I teach jazz guitar through something I call the functional diagonal approach. I grew up in South Korea. No jazz scene, no culture around it. I came to this music as a complete outsider. Everything I know, I learned at Berklee College of Music from my mentor, Richie Hart. And when he showed me the structure underneath Wes Montgomery's playing, I understood immediately why all those scales I had been memorizing felt like the wrong answer. This channel is about the right answer. Story first, step by step. There is a phrase that applies to a lot of things. Less is more. Less visual clutter, less noise, less information, and suddenly more clarity. Jazz education has done the opposite. More scales, more modes, more chord scale theory, more altered options, more diminished substitution, more secondary dominant, more another scales, more of everything, and somehow the music gets less clear. And I'm not proud of that I came out from the school that is called Scale Factory. The Berklee College of Music is Scale Factory. The New Yorkers called that. But Wes Montgomery went the other direction. No, he's not went the other direction. He was there, but all those education system went the other direction. He did not add more theory. He found the structure that was already there in the fretboard, in the harmony. In the fretboard, he learned from Charlie Christian in the harmony. The Charlie Christian already trying to do what Charlie Parker was doing, right? So he found it and he developed it, the one diagonal path, moving through chord changes, responding to the voice leading. And that one path, the West line, the Django line, and the connector between them does more than all those scales combined. So I say, Wes is more. That is the thesis of this video, and by the end, you will hear exactly why. When I was a kid, I loved world history. Most people found it overwhelming. Too many names, too many dates. But to me, it was always the story. Once you understand the plot, what problem each era was trying to solve, everything connects. You do not memorize history, you follow it. I teach jazz the same way. Most jazz education hands you facts, scales, modes, chord scale chart, libraries, a mountain of information with no story. And the more you collect, the more lost you feel when the music actually moves. But jazz has a story, each generation trying to solve a specific problem the previous one left behind. Charlie Parker's problem, how do you move through chord changes linearly, the melodically with the chromaticism, right? Without just outlining the chords. Wes Montgomery's problem, how do you do what Bird and Charlie Christian did harmonically and doing it on the fretboard, right? But those everything a piano shows the clearly. The altered scale, the diminished scale, the chord scale system, those came after. After they were theories, attempts to explain what Wes and Bird and the beboppers were doing. But Wes was not thinking in scales. He was following a path, a diagonal structure on the neck guided by voice leading. Once you see that, the scales become irrelevant, not wrong, just unnecessary. And once you see that, you cannot unsee it. Richie Hart showed me the West line as a physical structure on the neck, the arpeggio shape, the diagonal movement, the upper structure sitting above the shell voicing. And he showed me the Django line the same way. And then he said something I did not fully understand at the time. These two lines live in the same position, they alternate. Rich also told me something about Autumn Leaves once. He said the tune was too monotonous for him, too simple. He wouldn't choose to play it himself. I understand what he meant. On the surface, it is the same melodic phrase over and over, the same harmonic motion repeating. It does not ask much of you. But that simplicity is exactly what I keep coming back to it for this lesson. Because Autumn Leaves has both a major and minor 2-5-1 in the same progression, back to back, and when you put Wes's approach on both, something becomes visible that you cannot unsee it. The path is the same. That is what this video is about. And there is a reason it works, a reason that goes deeper than voice leading or the lines alternate. There is a structure underneath both 2-5-1s that makes them resolve the same way. The structure is the diminished. Fewer decisions, more music. So I say, Wes is more. So, step 1, let's look at the chord progression. I'm saying it in the Roman numerals, but in relative major because that is easier. So, thinking in the relative major, we are in the key of F major. Then the first chord would be the 2-5-1 to the F major, and then it goes to the 4. And then it goes minor 2-5-1 to the D minor. So the D minor and then F major, those are relative major and minor, right? And before we go on to that minor 2-5-1, major 2-5-1, let's just see the upper structure. So the G minor 7, we have B flat major 7 as upper structure. And the C7, we have E minor 7 flat 5 for our upper structure. And then we go to F major, but traditionally we play F6 for the one chord, right? Up to that point. So what was it? B flat major 7, E minor 7 flat 5, and then D minor. And then we go to the next chord, B flat major 7, and then the next chord, we start the minor 2 5 1 to the D minor, so we have E minor 7 flat 5, and then we have A7, but we will skip that for now, and then we go to D minor. You see, the first three measures, B flat major, E minor 7 flat 5, D minor, is keep coming back on the second half. B flat major, E minor 7 flat 5, and there's A7, we will cover that a little later, and then it goes to the D minor, right? So what I want you to understand right now is in 8 measure, we have 7 different chord changes, but we do not really need 7 different scales to play right in those tunes. G minor 7, C7, F major 7 is B flat major 7, E minor 7 flat 5, D minor, and it just repeats itself. B flat major 7, E minor 7 flat 5, and then let's see what we are missing in there. After E minor 7 flat 5, this E minor 7, the guided tone, this one note moving makes a 2 to the 5 sound. So once we have the 2 sound on the E minor 7 flat 5, this note is moving this. Then the other 3 notes is the same. This becomes the diminished sound. Okay? So E minor 7 flat 5, E diminished to the D minor. Okay? So the diminished. Here is the thing nobody explains clearly. The minor 251 and major 251 look different on the chart. The half diminished 2 chords on the minor side, minor 7s on the major side, different 5 chords, different tension, different resolution, but it becomes the same sound. Let me explain you how it becomes the same sound. Look at, let's do the minor 251 first. So this E minor 7 flat 5 going to the A7 and then D minor, right? In that, this E minor 7 flat 5, as we see, same as the C7, then we could make this as we are right now, we are doing the line conversion thing. So this Wes line, right? This is the Wes line, and this is also the Wes line. This is the sound for the E minor 7 flat 5, right? And then if we move this like that, this becomes diminished triad, right? And then D minor. And then now let's see the 251 of the major 7. Same, the Wes line, and then when it goes to the 5, where those voice leading move, this half step, right? So this becomes C7, and then when it goes to F major 7, it goes this half step, right? So this guide tone is moving half step, another half step to make it to F major 7. But then let's see the middle notes, how they are moving, these notes. 2 when it goes to the 5, it doesn't move. Now when it goes to the 1, either it stays there for 6th chord, or on the major 7, it move whole step to make a F major 7. And jazz musicians didn't like it. We want every half step. This 2, 5, 5, 1, like that. We need these notes moving half step to the next notes. That becomes our 5 chord, the C7, becomes the diminished, or right? So now it really became the same, the minor 251 and the major 251. The chord scale system made many options, many problems, but Wes had the solutions. So Wes is more. Here is where it gets real. The autumn leaves. This tune gives you both 251 in the same progression, minor and major, back to back. That is the whole point. The chord scale system tells you new chord, new scale, half diminished, learn the Locrian, altered dominant, learn the altered scale, more information, more decisions at every chord change. But Wes made fewer decisions and sounds more like music. Not because he knew less, because the structure he was following already covered both situations, major or minor, same path. The voice leading resolves the same way. The line follows naturally either way. The Wes is more, fewer decisions, more music every time. This is why Wes sounds like he's always playing the same music, no matter what tune he's on. He found the structure underneath the tunes and he followed it. And if you want to see how these same tools land in actual chord melody, my voicing, my lines, my decisions on autumn leaves, explained measure by measure, that is in Jun's songbook. I will put the description down below. Now, Wes's answer and mine, same tune, same material, different hands. Here's your practice path, a simple. Find your G minor 7 sharp voicing on 5th string. Remove the root. See the B flat major 7 of a structure. Play the Wes line 1 octave slow. Get the physical shape clean, like this. G minor 7 over here. B flat major 7. Wes line is here. Right? And then find the Django line in the same position range, different upper structure, different shape, same diagonal logic. So in this case, we have that on the F major 7, we go there, we have that Django line. Okay? And then play a minor 2-5-1, E minor 7 flat 5, A7, and D minor 7. Start with Wes line. Let the voice leading guide you through the 5 chord. Feel where the connector wants to go. Do not force the Django line. Let the resolution pull you there. So you wanted to do that, the voice leading. Even if we are in the same collection of the notes in 2-5-1, the major 2-5-1, the minor 2-5-1, still the target notes are different, and those target notes becomes much more clear and crucial to follow the tunes. And then the same progression, start with a Django line and let the path flow the other direction. So you are not adding more, you are following more. That is the whole lesson. When it feels natural in one position, at the second position, let the phrase travel. So for this week, I want you to play on 1-2-5-1, one position, follow the path, and do not plan it every day. Okay? And there is a reason people spend years collecting scales and never sound like Wes. It is not that they need more information, it is that they are going the wrong directions. More scales, more modes, more chord scale theory, more altered options, more of everything. But Wes was not that. He found the path that was already in the fretboard, the diagonal structure, the voice leading, the melody, the story, the connector between the two lines, and he followed it. The path does more than every scale in every jazz theory book. Wes is more. If this clicked for you, share it with one player who has been collecting scales and wondering why they do not sound like Wes. They need this. And leave a comment. What tune are you going to try this on first? I read every comment. Your answer might become the next episode. So until next time, keep swinging. Thank you.